right, guys, so it's not easy to admit when you're wrong, but I think there's a very good possibility that I, in fact, might be wrong regarding lifestyle assets. Now, for the past many months, we've been talking about this idea about lifestyle assets. It's the concept of being able to actually use and enjoy the assets that are earning you additional income streams and ultimately a lot more cash flow. And that's what we've been doing with this really great property that we purchased in March out in one of our favorite areas of the entire state of Colorado. And listen, here we are having gone through our first round of paying guests, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. And let me explain why. They're just never ever gonna love the property as much as Kellyanne and I do. At the end of the day, it immediately seemed as though the guests were kind of complaining. Right? The very first text I get, in fact, says, and I obviously will keep this private, not give you the names of these guests, but ultimately it says, "Hey, greetings. We have arrived at your beautiful home. 2 quick questions. Is the smaller kitchen sink faucet and the refrigerator water and ice hooked up to a reverse osmosis system? And does your home have AC? Thank you." The response was, "Greetings. I only know that they're double filtered and no AC, only ceiling fans. The entire house is concrete, so there are no ducts." She says, "I was under the impression there was AC." Granted, we all have a first impression and then we have time to process. And my first impression was, why? Why would you be under the impression when the listing doesn't say that there's air conditioning in the unit? Made no sense to me. My response was almost just that. Why? Question mark. Instead, we said, "I just double checked the listing to ensure that it doesn't show there's AC by mistake, and it doesn't." Her response, "No worries. We've opened the windows and turned on the fans, and it's getting nice and comfortable. My grandfather wanted me to ask," and this conversation has now gone on for a variety of niceties and basically just kind of dialogue, rapport conversation, and they've been very, very pleasant. But I'd be lying if I said that I've felt great about this interaction the whole time, because I haven't. In fact, I was sitting there jumping to the possibility that this will somehow dock me a star, that somehow we're going to end up from a 5-star rating to a 4-star review.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Because of the possibility of not having air conditioning in the home. Now, if we'd advertised that we had air conditioning, that would be fair. And in this case, we didn't. So I would obviously be offended. Now, we don't have our reviews from them yet. The reviews aren't in this particular guest's circumstances, but I'll admit, I was on the phone with my mother and I said, if I get a 4-star review, I quit. That's it. We're taking the property off the market and I'm using it just for myself. That's how sensitive I've become about this lifestyle asset. And I think that's the real downside I'm trying to get to here, is that while lifestyle assets and the concept makes such great sense because we're able to take these sort of precious lifestyle items, generally material items, and enjoy them, on the other side of the token is that, we don't really want anybody coming in and messing it up. And so knowing that there's other people that are putting wear and tear on your belongings and even just accidentally things getting ruined, I guess I'm a little surprised that the enthusiasm behind the asset has now become this sentimental. And I imagine that that's probably easy to have happen. We're all just human, and we do develop this attachment from time to time to our things. And I didn't know that was going to happen. 98% of the items in this property are brand new. So it was like, well, I didn't have them 2 months ago. My life was fine. They're easily replaceable. By and large, there are a couple items in this property at this point that are art and have been commissioned just for us. So there is sentimental value on those items, but overall, everything can just be replaced. It's just stuff. And yet you still kind of feel this sense of, hospitality. You know what I'm saying? Hospitality is a tough business. That's what I'm learning here. And lifestyle assets, for it to work, and for my original predictions of this being a genius concept to turn out, I'm going to have to reel it back a little bit and suggest that actually having systems in place to manage, having people in place to manage, being able to delegate certain things out, having your cleaners really, really well organized, having them feel really, really well taken care of, paying them more than they're charging, and having that part dialed in is most certainly going to be more important than I initially realized. So I just wanted to share my feedback with you guys so far, now that we're not just using the property for our own lifestyle. The other aspect I would make sure you guys are considering is we're diving into the concept of lifestyle assets after we've already made tremendous progress with a lot of various income streams. Therefore, we don't need the income from the asset, which means that if I at any point in time get frustrated with this process and decide to pull the plug, we have enough freedom to be able to do that. And I think that's really important as you're adding these types of income streams to your overall bottom line. If you hate something, you should be able to stop doing it, whether it's your day job or whether it's a lifestyle asset. When it's time to quit, you should be safe enough to quit and have the freedom to do so. And that's what this channel is all about. So make sure you're a subscriber. If you're not already one, consider subscribing. Turn on those post notifications, and you do that by tapping that bell after you hit the subscribe button. And go ahead and drop a like on this video, guys, if you want me to continue to keep you abreast of what really goes on behind the scenes on some of these various projects that we're guinea pigging, quite frankly, on your behalf. Because we do want to be consumer advocates, and we want to advocate for you and your ability to achieve the things that work really, really well. By the way, before I let you go on this video, what would you think if I told you that we're now exploring a way to get the best of all worlds when it comes to short-term rentals? And we're now in the process of developing a way of helping our coaching members, those of you that are actually paying to get coached by us, to acquire income streams through short-term hacking, where you're able to bring in guests with properties that you don't even have to buy, which means that you're not coming up with 20% down payments. You're not coming up with the money that it takes to furnish amazing properties.
Yeah! It's so nice. Oh my God, This house is ridiculous!
Yeah. The property that we're renting cost over $85,000. And yes, we went above and beyond, granted, because we want to use the property and enjoy it ourselves. So we wanted a lot of nice stuff in there personally. But with the 20% down of over $120,000, closing costs involved with the acquisition, we're well above $200,000 in total out-of-pocket expenses that we now want to return on. What if I could tell you could do the exact same thing and not even own the home? What if I told you there was a way that you could work with landlords and they would be happy to allow you to do this? Far less risk, far less out of pocket, far less need for credit, far less need for debt weapons and capital accounts. And what if I told you I knew that there were people that were actually making over $2 million a year doing this? Make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Make sure if you're a coaching member, you hit up your coach to find out how you can start to explore this concept. I think anybody can do it. So we'll look forward to seeing you guys. If you haven't gotten your free coaching session yet, make sure you click the link below, freecoachingcalendar.com. Claim that one free coaching session. It does require at least $500 per month in leftover cash flow before you're eligible. And you can get your free copy of the Cash Flow Cruncher by going to cashflowcruncher.com. Where else? And start figuring out what that net cash flow is today. We'll see you on the next video. Until then, make it a great day today and take care.